Welcome back to Louisville Now. I'm Gary White with Metro TV. I'm now joined by two members of the Outreach Artery of Heart, and I have Miranda Kallage and Tristan Perry, who work with Outreach for Heart. So tell us, what does the Outreach do with Heart?
Perry, Tristan, what you got?
Yeah, so we go out into the community. We go out into the encampments, out onto the streets where people tend to be. We try to help build rapport, offer services to those folks, and help get them connected to the various services that the city offers and that the other community partners in the city have to offer.
Because relationship building is a big part of what you do, is that correct?
Oh yeah, we have to build rapport with individuals and make sure they trust us. I mean, we're giving them rides, we're making sure that they're getting into resources, but a lot of that doesn't happen without that relationship first.
Okay. So I talked a little bit with John Hilbein about the risk assessment and how you're notified about where to go, who needs some help. Then once that is done, the risk assessment is completed, you all kind of step in, and what's that process look like?
So usually when they get out to an encampment or an area that we've been informed of, they'll let us know if there's individuals there, what their situation is, and if they would like outreach. And then we usually pop down within the next couple hours and check and see how many people there, what they're needing from us, if they're wanting, to get to any other kind of resources. We try and find out if they've been common assessed. That's through the Coalition for the Homeless and Phoenix Family Health. That determines their level of need and gain access to resources across the community.
So there are a lot of community partners that you work with in this whole process, is that correct?
That's correct. We couldn't do it without a whole web of resources, so.
And sometimes it could be something as simple as trying to help the individual get an ID or a social security card so they can access some of these available services, is that correct?
Yes.
And what's that kind of look like for the individuals?
So if someone, for example, just needs an ID, we can have them. We have a great partnership with the DMV that's currently over at the NIA Center. And so we can bring our people right over there, bring them to the back and let them go ahead and give an ID, the exact same day, so that way they can go ahead and have that ready to go. And then, when the card comes in, we get out to them and then continue to work on their other documents they might need after that.
Fantastic. And so when you're assessing, there's also a behavioral specialist element to this as well, is that correct?
Correct. We've just hired a behavioral health specialist. Her name is Christina Glowatz. And she's been in the community for a long time doing mental health services. But she's working with some of our most heaviest clients in need that have been in and out of the Department of Corrections, mental health services, and just have not been able to be placed and continue to stay out here on the streets. And that just creates more trauma and more mental health and addiction, so we try to resolve that. And she's been brought on board to help resolve a lot of that. So she's working with about 20 individuals through the community and the Department of Corrections right now.
And you also have recently received a grant, I believe. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes. So we are one of 10 recipients over the next 4 years that will receive the Bezos Day One Family Fund. And that is specifically for those with families in the community that are living on the streets or without homes. And that will be in partnership with the Coalition for the Homeless, as it's a single point of entry, and they'll do a referral to us as we find people across the community. And then we have a housing navigator we will be hiring to help build relationships with landlords. And it's called Rapid Rehousing. That means we break down all of the barriers to get into housing. We remove deposits if they have, a lot of the landlords we've worked with previously, we don't do applications because they already know the clientele that we're going to be housing and that we're going to support them through all of that. So we don't do background checks. This is individuals that may have evictions, they may have criminal history, all kinds of different things that are preventing them from staying in housing. So we have the housing navigator that'll be come on board to help with that, and then they will also be case managed through the housing and support through OSS.
And as we said, this is all about relationships and building relationships to make sure that the individuals are open to receiving some assistance as well. So do you each have a story that you could share with us with one of the clients that you've been able to assist?
Sure. Yesterday morning, we got a call early, about 7:30, 7:45, that there was a young girl, 18, that was down on the corner of Breckenridge and Brook at Salvation Army with a lot of individuals. There's a high concern for, she's so young. So I was able to stop by and pick her up within about 15, 20 minutes and was checking to see if where she wanted to go. We were trying to get her into a day shelter, but as I continued on in her conversation, found out that she's out from another county in Kentucky. She's 3 hours away from home and had run away. She's been in the foster care system, and I've worked with individuals in the foster care system that were 18 to 24 previously. And so I contacted some resources, and we went over to Blueprint 502, walked her in the door and talked about finishing her education. She hasn't finished high school. And they took her in and contacted case management through Safe Place, Tailored, which both serve 18 to 24-year-old youth, as well as Blueprint 502. They're all partners and connections that she's had previously. So we roped all of those in, and come to find out she's dealing with some addiction and couldn't really stay into the program. So through that, she was able to be connected yesterday to an addiction recovery center for the next 30 days. And then she'll come out and go back into Blueprint 502 for education. And then they also have the Foster Youth Temporary Housing Program to Rapid Rehousing Program. And so she'll be going through that next. So it looks like we've wrapped up like a whole lot of things just within 24 hours.
That's great. I mean, that's amazing that you're able to do all of that within 24 hours.
That goes back to having not just relationships, building relationships with the individuals out here on the streets, but partnerships across the community. They have to be able to trust us when we bring somebody in. They know that like we're really intent on trying to support this individual and get them to somewhere safe.
Absolutely. That's great. Would you like to share a story that you've...
Yeah, so fairly recently, I just going into one of the camps, checking in on some folks, and encountered an older woman who was unable to speak. So obviously, in addition to the homelessness she's already experiencing, there's an additional barrier to her getting anywhere. So she had a lot of things she needed help with. So I was able to take her to some different places and kind of literally be her voice a little bit to help her get some of those things taken care of. She was able to tell me that she had been working with someone from our from Office of Social Services Housing Support Team. So I reached out to her and was just like, hey, you know, what's going on with this person's situation? She said, oh, we've actually been looking for her. Yeah, I've been working with her for a while, and we're working on getting her a place. And then she should be able to get her keys within the next couple days. So I was able to go back to the camp and get her and bring her over to her new place and help her get moved in. And now she's housed and doing well. So
that's fantastic. Amazing. And it's obvious that HEART is not only a name, it's also beating in everybody who's part of the team that you're part of. Now, how can the community help? I did talk with Director Philby, and he mentioned 311 if you see somebody, but how can the community really assist in this work?
I mean, to be honest, donations to a lot of the nonprofits that we work with, partnerships that we work with, they need the funding so that we can continue the work. We're a piece, but we're the foundation of that. They're the ones that move everything up from that and help provide the services and the housing and case management, addiction recovery, all of those pieces. So, I mean, St. John's is amazing, and their team that they have, Ups for Women is great. Exodus Ministry out in the South End is a fantastic resource. The Reese Center, these are all places that we work with daily, that if we didn't have those supports, I mean, those would be major gaps in our community of services.
Absolutely. It's a whole team effort that makes it all work. And again, we're talking about HEART, which is Homeless Engagement and Assessment Response Team.
Mm-hmm.
Homeless Engagement and Assessment Response Team. That's HEART, a division of the Office of Social Services. We've been out here talking about that in Louisville now. Thank you very much. I've been here with Tristan Perry and with Miranda Kallage. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much.
All right, stay with us. We'll be back with more here on Louisville Now.